Hello world, Podlair team back at it again. We are sharing with the world the mojo phenomenon as well as the methodology we use to track it and the results and evidence we've gathered so far. We've been doing a 3x structure previously in one session, and now we're playing around with doing one of those themed activities for mojo reading per session. So today is going to be collaging, and in the future we're going to get really crazy awesome with collaging because now the sample server program is up and running. So awesome, a lot of hard work went into that from the whole team. Special shout out to Ben, of course, for sort of spearheading the whole movement. So thank you very much, and we now have a device that is going to greatly improve our mojo reading training, which means improving our mojo reading abilities, which means improving our proof of concept. So excellent. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started after instructions. Just say that tonight we are finishing up the purification collaging in the old method, the Word document method, where I'm going over some of the updates that happened throughout the year. But after that, we'll be shifting over mainly to the sample server program. Okay, I am Nai Ji Coach.
I am Jaini Jalene.
And I'm Nigel Mitchell.
I'm Nai Ji Ben.
And this is Naiji Glenn.
All right, take it away, Jolene.
All right, let's screen share the current purification collage and go to where we left off in last Sunday's session. So let's go here, and here's where we pick back up. And Coach, whenever you're ready,
all right,
please go ahead.
Same protocols as usual, which is if it is a new kind of update, we'll get into it a little bit and explain what is going on, the differences between the correct answer and the erroneous answer. And then anytime that same kind of correction or update comes up again, we'll go more quickly. Okay, so Jibai Ellen Dolan, soap actress. I had her down as a Nizai. For me, I think it's something I have to watch out for. There's a certain shape of the lip that, particularly in the upper lip, when the way it breaks, like she actually does, I think, have flexation in that mustache plate, for example. But I think I allow the drama, so to speak, of this line. Yeah, it's kind of dramatic. Dramatic, it's very sort of flat. And it almost makes it feel like the emoting is stopping here. But actually, no, the cheek, I think these things are flexing a bit more too. It had the smile, separating smiling from the overall emoting, because her smile itself is very dramatic and cuts. That's the word I want to use. It cuts a dramatic line. But actually, I do think the cheeks and upper lip are being brought into the mix some. I think I let the drama of that break. You know what I mean? When the smile ends and the flesh begins, I think let the drama of that make me think that I wasn't seeing flexation above. But here, same thing, a dramatic kind of upper lip color line, the color of the lips as compared to the rest of the skin flesh. But I think that the plate is moving, the cheeks are moving, and the critical here, obviously, being a G-Vi, G-alpha, I think it's going into the eyes. So G-Vi, not Nizai.
Yeah, her lips are quite thin.
Yeah, thin and something, I don't know, it's the thinness plus the teeth, something about it. Some G-Vi have a smile that it really kind of locks you in a bit to the teeth area. And so sometimes I have to go like, okay, just because my eyes went to the teeth, does that mean that there wasn't? Because, for example, in the Cheshire Cat, it's classic that your eyes are kind of drawn to the teeth a bit more than the cheeks. So when that happened here, I had to ask a second follow-up question. That's me learning about the process for myself. Does the fact that I'm drawn to those teeth like that, does that mean that the mustache plate and the cheek plate didn't flexate in a values-based way? In this case, I believe, in fact, they did, even though my eyes were drawn dramatically to that smile area. But just because I was drawn to that, like this here, my eyes are drawn to that, drawn to that, drawn to that. That does not mean Cheshire Cat. So that was a little less than upgrade.
Her lips, in a way, they look like outlines off of her teeth, and it's kind of interesting.
Say again, what's the word you used?
They look like
It's like an outline almost.
Yes, exactly. Outline. Thank you. The outline of the lips is kind of dramatic, and sometimes that doesn't mean that's all that the emoting area is encompassing in that case.
Yeah, creates some contrast.
Certain makeup also makes that more challenging.
Jibai McKinsey Westmore.
Same thing, I think.
Okay, so same thing. So, okay, so she was read as a Nizai before then.
If I make guess, I don't know off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at her. She has that broader
Broad
cheek.
cheekbone, and it, like you said, it's dramatic.
And a lot of energy in that upper
Yeah,
lip.
and
For some reason, that makes you almost think, like, is that the cutoff? No, it's just there's a lot of energy there.
okay, all right.
Was it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay. G by Adrian France.
I think with her, I went between Nizai, you kind of sit more on the left, and actually, I think I tried Jai V. You can see on the right a little bit.
Yeah, her face
yeah.
is like kind of longish, but
And a real effort.
but it is full, like that G alpha, you know, very like, bam, any with their expression, and like she's not moving her mouth a lot in the picture,
Yeah.
but it still feels really powerful.
I think also maybe the resolution of that picture also kind of maybe increases that porcelain look on the one on the right, a little more glossy.
Yeah,
I think part makeup, part might be the actual photography.
that might be interesting.
Jibai, Mary Wilson.
Same thing, Nizai.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the cheekbones. I mean, not cheekbones, but the jawbone being
Yeah.
that more
Wedge shape.
wedge shape one. Yeah, it's tricky.
But I do think you see generally. I think those cheeks are rather smooth looking, kind of like a model. They are
Yeah.
flexating, and the eyes. I think I'm seeing that's G over Vi.
Yeah, great.
This is Zaimi Dennis Christopher.
I believe he's down as Naiji.
Okay, so we haven't done that yet. So the Zaimi and the Naiji. So yeah, he does seem like he has good development of his like Vi. I think that kind of makes him seem more like he's got like that energy, sort of like he could be seen as a hunter, but it's
Yeah, right. That plus the also a little bit like Hunter and also Feral. He has a little bit.
yeah, Feral. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
I
That
suppose
was
yes, that kind of vibe poise, and then I don't know what's making that Feral thing, but also the Feral too.
yeah. It almost seems like he's kind of got like that directive kind of hunterish energy, but it's more of like just him using his Vi, I think. And his G is also pretty well developed too. It kind of almost looks as though it's going up higher than just the lip line, but it is stopping at the lip line. He also has a little bit of an interesting thin lip quality too.
Yeah.
On the upper lip there. And but yeah, he's got good G. It looks like he's got good emoting, and it kind of does. The wrinkles kind of make it seem as though the emoting is going higher, right? Like into the eye area,
Yeah.
like right below it. But
That's
it's
been challenging for me.
Yeah.
On that, that's a good point. There's been a few Zani, I don't know examples off the top of my head right now, but I've seen with a more leathery face, and I don't know what it is about their skin or the occupations they do, but definitely Zani ladies, but also Zani dudes. They don't tend to have wrinkly faces very often, even if they get rather old.
Yeah, the sheer cheeks, just because
Sheer cheeks and
maybe not. Yeah, I
And
don't
maybe
know if they.
the sheer
flex
cheeks.
their
It also means
muscles
like the
more,
calmness of the eyes. Like I don't know if they do hard squinting a lot. But he looks like he's been maybe in the sun or also has done a lot of squinting. So
right.
yeah, it just I'll see too many of this riff, which is why it kind of took me a while to see this one. But overall, he has that calm quality, and the eyes have a lift.
Yeah, he has a
They
cool
do,
look.
yeah. The owls just
Those lines are actually, I think, I don't know, that those lines are add
That's
to
cool riff,
weather, but like also, I don't know, seem like buoyance, add to like his buoyancy. I think
Yeah,
the
interesting.
roundness of those lines going
Interesting.
upward and the circular, this round
He does look
line
like he's
down.
had some fun adventures, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks adventurous, yeah. Mhm.
There's definitely me in the eyes, but it's also got that veil over it as well. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
very interesting, cool.
He looks like he'd be fun on a road trip, doesn't he? Road trip, air trip, submarine trip.
Yeah.
Okay, it's me.
Yes.
Okay, Jibai, Brian Kraus had him down as Jinai. So I think the helmet carrying is fairly obvious. That jumps out right away. But going in the eyes, he has a fairly good dreamy look. But I'm getting better at distinguishing between the penetrating pit and then the outer halo. So in his case, the outer halo is, I believe, diffuse, and the inner pit projecting is heavier, dense of the Vi. And then a little hard to tell on the resolution on the left. On the resolution on the right, I think you can see the overall skin quality is a bit more yang. It's a slight more on-point tensioning overall. And then particularly in the mouth, I think that purse is a bit tighter than the G9. It looks like it has a good development from what little I see here. I think I've seen a substantial knee halo. And definitely look like he's rocking some Z steel face. Actually, both.
Z?
Zai steel face.
Oh yeah, okay. So I was just kind of good.
Jivi, Dorian, Gregory, so similar. Was read as a G9 before, but now with the refinement of the distinctions between those two, it's clear here the tightness in the mouth and the density in the pupils that comes from Vi. Yeah. Okay.
And the silk actors tend to have good, the GI in them, for example. This is overall, but I'm talking about GI right here. They tend to have substantial knee halos, tend to be well developed.
Yeah.
It's more dreamy look.
More so in the fitness bubble. Not that they don't sometimes have it too, but more, I think, within
Right.
the acting.
Jaivi Coral Amico.
I think I had her down as Vijay.
Have you done that?
I
Is that
don't
new?
think so. I don't think so.
So it's new?
It is new, yeah.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so he's an AdSense, so very similar cues, but she has an elongated face. You can see that in both pictures. And like her eyes, they have this like, yeah, the poignant look that you would see with the Jai Alpha. Like they look at you, but it's like through the veil of poignancy. It's not just like that, like bright, clear-eyed B Alpha look, camera lens.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little bit, but.
No, and everything says is spot on there, Mitchell. I think for myself, I look at it now. Some of the picture on the left was reminiscent of. Now, no one else might feel this at me, so I note that riffs are always kind of personal. But she riffed me for some reason of Kim Kardashian. I don't know what it was.
That's
but now
kind of a long face, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And this, she's calmer than Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's eyes are a bit more.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian does have those real bright eyes that you can see that.
And more of a kind of, animated energy. But yeah, sometimes that happens. So I think she's like a longer face. She's like a Jai V. We say a lot like different mojos that way, like, oh, that's like a Jai V version of this. This I think is like a Jai V to me personally, not everyone. But on the picture on the left was like a Jai V version of Kim Kardashian, and I let that throw me because I felt that association. I thought, oh. But if I win the cues, like Mitch was just saying, the cues look more Jai V. But that riff is awesome, but riffs, you have to kind of play with them because they're a little bit more fuzzier. Sometimes, it's not necessarily that I was getting Kim Kardashian. I was actually getting a Kim Kardashian-esque AdSense, which is cool. But like I said, that's more fuzzy data. You have to massage that sometimes to realize exactly what that riff is telling you.
Tricky.
Yeah. Physically, her face looks similar to like Kim Kardashian's. I can see that.
And in fact, but funny, like Mitchell was saying, if I did not know who Kim Kardashian was, everything he said made sense in both these pictures. Even on the left, face looks longer. It's Jai, looks like more Jai than B. A calming energy. Like I don't think I would actually have questioned any of that, except she looked a little bit like a long-faced Kim Kardashian. And so that's where you kind of point out the strengths of all the gears, but each gear also has a thing you have to watch out for. The lower gears, you kind of get like overwhelmed with the details. They're good at details, but you can get kind of swamped in the weeds, and then you don't know what you're looking at anymore. Here at fourth gear actually got me to AdSense very quickly. But it was a little fuzzier on which AdSense I was looking at with that ring.
Interesting.
Oh, this is my turn?
Yeah.
Cool. Vaiji, Tom, Irwin.
I think I kept going back between the two Durams because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't make them fit.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Like, I can see how it could be a
interpretive. He has very good interpretive abilities. And so I was trying to make him a Durham, and I just couldn't get one to fit. But now once I kind of
Yeah, I can see how it could be seen as both Durams, the G9, because he has kind of like a foolish looking face, but also, you know, Naiji, because you definitely see the bifield hunter quality.
Yeah, the eyes really pop out.
And, you know, he has good interpretive energy as well. But yeah, I mean, if you look into his eyes, they do look more pinched in a concerned kind of way. Like, I don't see, you know, the strong, you know, dreamy, cunning signal. It looks a little bit more concrete, the eyes. And that's like the biggest distinction I can make between between the Naiji in particular. And the G9 as well, because as I mentioned, the bifield quality.
Oh, sorry, please go ahead, Ben.
Oh, yeah, and then I was just going to say distinction between the G9 as well, because as I mentioned, the bifield qualities.
Yeah, and he has, look out more for this is good. He has really good development as far as his modulation powers going with the momentum powers, in that it is kind of, I guess, a case, kind of what went wrong here is separating the maneuvers from the instrument, because doing the kind of work he does is work that you see more often, you know, objectively speaking, that with the data. If you talk about G-Mojo males, you see more Durams than Dursens. But that doesn't mean Dursens can't do the same kind of thing. And when they do, like he does, and does it very well, he's doing a lot of the same maneuvers. And so a lot of the maneuver, even these pictures he's doing here, he's not holding himself the way I see, for example, a lot of Vaiji politicians hold themselves, or business people, or even authors. It's more loose, more kind of like, yeah, I'm an artist. And so I'm an artist, it's interesting seeing a Vaiji project, like the left picture. I recognize that move. We've all seen that. That picture on the left, you see so many Naiji hitting that pace. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a cool guy, but I'm an artist. Just the whole way he's kind of like vibing right there. But that's a Vaiji instrument giving out that vibe, that maneuver vibe. So that's kind of a good thing to see past. So, learning lesson. Who's next?
It's Glenn.
This is Jaime David Alpe.
Now it's Naiji.
All right, so again, this is another new one. Sub-ROM thing going on
Yeah,
here.
I think I messed up here because the pictures, it doesn't look as challenging, but I think because for him, I think I read him from the show, the Borges show. And in that show, everyone's cutthroat. So I think it makes everyone seem a bit more hunter maybe than they actually are, because everyone's just hunting everyone that show.
Right, so he's also similar to the Zaini, like he's a little bit more feral energy kind of in a way. And yeah, but those eyes, I'm looking at those eyes, they have that very, very, you know, popped out kind of quality, which I think is synonymous with like the adaptives, and this not so much with the, you know, towers, but you can still see that he's got like that very, you know, like, yeah, he's got that knee quality to the eyes, which makes them, you know, he's like really drinking in his surroundings. Obviously it's going to be filtered through the Jai first though, but like his eyes look very knee dancing, and the Jai emoting looks like it's going into the eyes as well.
And also, and the one on the left, which is like, I guess, normal life in a way, and the one on the right, which is like a movie role he's in, they both look like he's very comfortable holding his space.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he's got that like...
One thing I need to watch out for is sometimes there's a way of holding their space that's cocky.
Right, yeah. Sort of like bold, kind of charisma.
Cocky and bold, I sometimes mistake that for a worldview map power when it's being used in that way. You know what I mean? Zai and Ni can do that too. They're kind of like there, they're all like, You know what I mean? They're like just cocky, and they kind of like lounge and slink around the scene, just totally at ease and in control.
There's a difference between like being centered in a tower kind of way, which is like no one can move me kind of thing, versus like having your Nai or Vi kind of completely wrapped around a certain situation. Both are kind of like give off that sort of confidence kind of energy in a way, right?
Definitely. And the two cases that really helped me with this, I think Jarlene knows both of these. The one that I saw a while ago, and I had a pretty good understanding of it, was Sam Rockwell. He just has that, you know, dangerous kind of energy, naughty about him. But then recently, it's been Gotham. The actor who plays the Riddler. the way he does his scenes, it almost seems like I got a strong predatory kind of use of his Jai, and so it's interesting that towers can be used in a predatory way, but that's something kind of being logical versus logic based, being predatory versus being a hunter mojo. So kind of it's always the issue with semantics versus the actual phenomenon, how your brain processes those two. There can be errors there between the semantics of a phenomenon and the actual phenomenon. So towers can be varying, and he's one, for example, and Borgia, they're all predatory. And so he's able to portray that very well.
Right, that's a good point. Enigma does have that quality a lot.
He does, yeah.
When he goes into that alter ego mode, which is like now
right,
all his arm. It's his voice just becomes so much more confident in a way, and so much more like he knows what he's talking about. He knows everything, like what he means, and
sort of like the wildness kind of gets translated to a I want what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. I want what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. And that kind of almost seemed almost hunterish.
Yeah, it's like a matured wildness in a way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it also highlights, in this case, maybe how much maturity, back conditioning being a villain. But I know what you mean. Which gets back to my point I was going to make is it emphasizes that performances can really help motivate you to do a case, because I really like his performance a lot in that show, and so it gave me a lot of energy to want to investigate him. But with that said, it also means I really had to cross-check the case with interview footage to counteract how moving the performance is and make sure I'm able to just kind of watch the instrument into a kind of natural setting and see what that looks like. Because we see, for example, the actor, I forget his name, who plays the Riddler, when he's in interviews, his shininess is more apparent. If you're just looking at certain things, and for example, with him, I did look at more. But this actor, I didn't. I was moved similarly by his performance throughout a hunter-like Jaini, but then I don't think I watched enough video of interviews to give me a context of what instrument was making those moves. So the lesson of the day is, the more you feel you're being moved, that should increase the importance you place on understanding the instrument that's causing that move.
Yeah. By the way, his name is Corey Michael Smith.
Ah, was his name Corey?
Corey Michael Smith.
Thank you, Corey Michael Smith. I'm sure we see more of him. He's very talented. And so is the one who plays Penguin, too. And so is the one who plays Mad Hatter. They got a bunch of shiny badasses in there. I think Gotham's been like a breakout role for shiny dudes. It's funny because the main character is a Naiji and his partner is a Naiji, but actually I think as far as breakout roles, the shiny dude villains are having a field day over there.
What do you think of the Shiny in Rogue One?
Oh, he's awesome. Diego Luna, very good actor.
Yeah.
And the Zaini, she was awesome too. They really moved me. She moved me a lot of scenes I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Badass.
Oh, the towers really rocked that.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. Towers represented.
All right, Coach, this next one's yours.
Yep. Okay, so Vijay, Austin, Chumley, Russell. We kind of covered this case a little bit already with the grandfather, father, and son who do that show, Pawn Stars. They run the shop. He's one of their main employees. Same thing. Thought it might be a Nijai, but it's actually a Vijay, a lot of Nai. All of them, obviously, being Vijay, really into the physical elements of the products that they're doing. But there's a lot of bartering and haggling and kind of knowing how much is something worth versus how much this person think it's worth. And that's kind of main, I guess, charged up items of the show, is who actually understands the true value of something better than someone else. You haggle with them, and then if you have the better angle on it, you make out. Anyway, now that I'm kind of looking at it, the eyes, I think, are noticeably clearer and more straight on the target, like a camera on a subject in frame, as compared to the more diffuse energy of the knee, which is looking at you, but it's kind of playing with you. It's abstractions, or basically it's doing abstraction play work, idea play work with you. Where him, I feel like he's capturing me like a camera is drinking it in. And then also the skin, a little more yang.
Shiva Nicole Forrester.
Same thing on Nizai.
Okay, Nizai. Now
Shiva.
Predator Shiva. Yeah. So again, yeah, she also has that outline effect
Yeah, the
going
ally
on.
thing. I'd watch for that.
My turn?
So, yep.
Nizai, Gordon, Michael, Wolfette.
Coach is on his way back. Let's take guesses. What did he used to be read as? I don't know.
I'm not sure. You look like anything else, dude?
Zaini, Jivai.
Yeah. I think it's good to put that in there, like in the line there, like Nizai, blah blah blah, previously read
How far
as
away did
so and
Coach go?
such.
What's that?
How far away did Coach go?
Oh yeah, he
I thought he was on his way back.
coming back. Yeah,
Oh, here I
he
am.
was. It took him a while to come back.
No worries. My apologies.
Okay, so
He was down to Nijai.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the elbow with him. His eyes look bright.
Yeah, it does have that
So, there
impish
you
look
go.
to him.
But yeah,
He's not the lovable goofball of the crew.
yeah, he looks like he has very pleasant energy and all that, but his mouth definitely it has that like pursed in like a G way. Not it's just not slack like Shy is. It just has the naturally kind of pursed upper lip focus quality in both pictures. And he's not really doing any emoting, so it might be a little bit hard to see, but I mean we can derive that it wouldn't readily go up in midline.
Mm-hmm. Ben, you're up.
Ziny Justin Burfield.
I think I had him down as a shiny.
All right. Yeah, I can definitely.
I think I was moving fast, and it was like a family show. I saw Nez Tower family show, and somehow Nez Tower plus family show equals shiny in my head.
Yeah,
That's how
Look,
it works.
he's pretty funny. Yeah, there's difficulty modifier with him being a child too, so that just naturally makes him more difficult. So that's like one reason why I can see being misread. But yeah, I mean, I can see he's subjective. It definitely looks like knee dancing eyes. I wouldn't say that looks more like V for sure. Looks more dancing, more ethereal. And the film, yeah, the film can be tricky, but I don't see the emoting going into the cheeks or anything.
I wonder what he's doing now.
Pretty dramatically sheer.
Yep.
Even his youth, I think of the punch, the soft that threw me off to the youth. That's actually a statement now. And I'm looking at a clearer lens. The fact that his cheeks are so sheer, even though he's so young and has still a little baby fat going on there.
Yeah.
Baby fat doesn't stop sheer cheeks. Fair enough.
Yeah, especially in the picture on the right too. Yeah. Yeah.
Sheer.
Ziny.
Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, Eric.
Is that like his brother on the show or something?
I think maybe in the picture on the left, he also had this kind of like, not that Ziny Cam has in general, but there's kind of this like youthful exuberance that I think when I saw Nez Tower plus that kind of like all shucks exuberance, I thought maybe, oh, that's Jai innocence, that's Jai like really grooving on something. But Zai grooves in its own way. On the left, he's grooving. That dude's grooving. But the cheeks aren't moving. So yeah, that's like, again, you have to kind of always go back to those things.
He played Dewey. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you see on the one on the right, it's more obvious the cheeks are sheer. But even there, you kind of see he looks so happy. And I think I let the kind of the energy of like, what a happy young man. You know what I mean? Maybe think like, oh, I'm being hit by the emotional quality of that sample. That's when it really jumps out. And usually, but not always, when that's the first thing that jumps out to me, often I'm dealing with the Jai Alpha. Where like, that person's having a good day or a bad day. When that signal like hits me first, often it's Jai Alpha. But it can also be a tower in general, a tower feeling good or not feeling good, or being in a positive or negative state. So I think I mentioned this maybe last time is zoning in on, it was more, I was talking about comedians with Ziny, but same applies here in dramatic acting of the Zai tower can also give out very strong signals of I don't use the word feeling, but okay with things or not okay. a state of being at ease or alarmed. So those are separating that. See, even right now with my language, I had a little trouble there separating those kinds of words from value-based words. But I need to.
Congruent or incongruent, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Workable, not workable. Yay, nay. So kind of those signals can be very strong while coming from a xi tower.
And I think also when it comes to kids, they tend to be thought of as being more values-based than adults and older people as well. So I think that might have played a little bit of role too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially in casting. There's Coach.
That's me? Okay. Ziny Colin Fox, had him down as 9Z. He's awesome. I had both these guys wrong. And it's one of those things you have to watch out for how much you're moved by performance. He plays a Nearwolf. The guy who plays Nearwolf is a Nijai that I thought was a 9Z. So I thought both these dudes were 9Z. And the reason is the one is this master detective, but he's so HSP, he never leaves his like luxury apartment, but he solves cases like a genius while not leaving, at least very rarely. And then he has these people who go out in the street who are like detectives that work for him and bring him back clues, which he figured out the case. But the one person that's always with him in his luxury apartment is this guy. I think his name's Fritz, and he's his gourmet chef. And so he serves him all his meals, and they're constantly bantering in a way that reminds me of Nye-Z bantering about whether or not the meal, because they basically do experiments. Nearwolf's like, I want something that's this with junipers, I don't know, think of Christmas time. And he's like, of course. And he comes back with his interpretation of that, and then they argue on whether or not artistically, creatively, technically, it was on point. Anyway, very, very enjoyable, but I let that kind of throw me because I'd seen that game, for example, like Ghostbusters, where they're like quibbling over everything. So that kind of like funny quibbling, I associate too heavily with Nizez. And actually, neither of the Nizez were involved in it. It was a Ziny, Colin Fox, and then Nijai, I forget his name, but he plays Nearwolf. But you guys know, if you've seen like comedies, there's a lot of Nizez, and they have this kind of zingy back and forth. So I think it was a zingy back and forth that was hitting me.
But yeah, not Nye-Z.
Not Nye-Z. In fact, neither one of them were. But very zingy and enjoyable dialogue.
Okay, Jivi Scott Patterson.
Down as Ginai.
Down as Ginai. I think we covered those cases pretty good. Mitchell, you're up.
Jibai, are you done?
Same thing.
Ben?
He's Rudy Rush.
We covered this a little bit, but maybe not this career, because I think it was drama. This is actually comedy and radio. I had him down as Nijai. And for similar reason, though, different bubble. He's so lovable, kind of lovable, affable. You kind of see his energy, very warm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's the shape of his cheeks can be kind of tricky. I mean, he doesn't have like the classic sheer physicality. So that can be kind of hard sometimes. Although I think distinctly I don't see the mowing going into the cheeks. Looking at this now, a picture on the right, even he's doing tons of mowing there, but it's I don't really see the quality go into the cheeks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point, Glenn. Ben is distinguishing between it can be it's a notable trend, but it's not one-to-one about the roundedness of features. It's true. There's some trend.
Yeah, I'm really swayed by that. Like I always like notice like
the line, but it's not one-to-one.
Like the cheeks are probably the one aspect of the face that can be in some ways very useful in motoring, but also really challenging in terms of like, because like as useful as it is, like because of how useful it is, certain changes in physicality can really throw you off a lot of times when motoring. That's why you got to look at it from like a bunch of different angles to really.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, and why that's a great point, Ben. I've kind of been alluding into certain specific examples I use as far as a higher principle. I mentioned it, for example, like being moved by performance, but in your case, you mentioned also the cheeks. It can be any of those things. Anytime something stands out to you so dramatically, I think it kind of behooves one to then go and see if you can find a supporting cue somewhere of the same strength. Do you mean it's I think it's not a good idea to actually have an entire case hinged on just one super dramatic. You're like, aha, it's what I do. I was another one like that. I did Kim Kardashian. So the Kim Kardashian thing, this guy with his cheeks. Another one, it was I think something else, is maybe like the drama of the upper lip. We talked some of these, but it's the intensity of one of the things jumping out at you. It kind of behooves you to get at least one or two more things that feel somewhere in the neighborhood of that strength. Otherwise, it might be, like you're saying, Ben, a very strong mover, but you got it wrong, which actually can really throw you for a loop.
Yeah, it's tricky because you kind of got to use your resources effectively. Like you can't like endlessly be searching for different cues because like eventually you get too tired. But like I think like finding at least like a few, a couple that support, the area you're focusing on is pretty reasonable.
Yeah. And just because that's what happened with like the one before that I ripped off Kim Kardashian. When I looked for that second one, everything Mitchell said came into line. Okay, so she looks kind of Kim Kardashian, and her face is rounded. No, it's not. Okay, the eyes are super crystal clear. Not exactly. The main signal I'm seeing is also going to be mainly uplifting. No, it's not. And so I couldn't find that supporting thing for the Kim Kardashian riff, which helped me to update that riff to refine what I was actually reading there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
All right, this is Nizai James Madio. He was read as.
Nijai, similar. He's a little different though, because definitely more heavy drama as some of the other ones you've seen. But he was kind of like a very warm. You felt kind of like how the war was moving him character. He was down as Nijai for that reason. So you kind of see he looks like a gatherer. But the way on the right, you see a bit, I think, from the role Band of Brothers. That kind of face he's making. You see it? He made that face a lot. So imagine a character making those kinds of faces a lot. But it doesn't change the fact that cheeks aren't moving, but he was doing a lot of warm, this war's fucked up, man. You know what I mean? It meshes with your soul. He kind of gave a lot of that kind of, dialogue of like.
Right. So yeah, it does make a lot of sense. I mean, it kind of almost seems like he's got Z and then he's got Shy in that picture, but it's actually the cheek area is completely sheer, and the emoji is not going into that area at all, and it stops right at the midline. So yeah, the mouth, it does kind of look a little bit interesting, especially when he has it opened up like that.
Yeah.
Look like it's kind of almost faux unaware, but it's not unaware. It's actually aware of what it's doing, and the emphasis is on the upper lip.
You really hit us on there, Glenn, because you know which riff I used to get him? I don't think you guys know, Charlene will. Actually, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Boyle, the one who's like, he's an Nizai, but he's always just geeking out on his son, geeking out on his wife, geeking out on his dog, geeking out on his bromance with the main character of the show. And like, he just feels everything super epic dramatically. And so seeing it done like that, he's very effective and funny at it. But for some reason, his face was much easier for me to note. That's clearly a Nizai. But he was a Nizai, just sort of like, oh, my dog loved this, and we love this, and we're going to go hang out together. He's like overly like affable. He's like so affable, people get uncomfortable. That's kind of his kind of like character shtick. He's so affable and so excited about everything he does that people actually get uncomfortable while everyone loves him. So anyway, that helped me with him because he was doing the same thing, but in a drama.
What was the actor's name in that? Was it
Joe Lo Truglio?
Joe Lo Truglio? Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see that similarity.
It was kind of similar spell, but one being done in comedy, one being done in drama.
All right, Coach.
That's me, Jinai Marin Doogie. This one I had to watch out more for as well. I had her down as a G Vi. There's two things going there. One is just the ethnic statistics. There are a lot of G Vi African American actresses and music artists, so I have to kind of look through that. Second, there's a glossiness some people use in their makeup, and when that happens, it can sometimes make me think that an interpretive is a centralist. We've mentioned that, I think, more in the past with, for example, the Nijai female. If they get really glossy with their makeup, you have to watch out. You don't think they're a Vijay. And a Vijay get real feral, right? Real grunge with their look. Watching out that you don't think you're seeing a Nijai. The same thing happens between the two G Alpha. Because her lips kind of glossy, and even like the overall way she's done her face is kind of like smoothing it. because even the directive Nye Mojos have more of a ripply look compared to the more chiseled look of we talk about soft supple with the V versus knee. There's also like the Vi has like a chiseled look, so to speak, or pallor is another way of coming at it. Whereas the Nye, it tends to be a little more ripply, not quite as even. Yeah, not quite as even. And there's a use of makeup that kind of evens the look of her face. In both these pictures, her makeup is kind of doing that. But I do still think I'm seeing in the center of her eyes, the projection looks soft and dreamy. And the halo is actually a bit amped. And the smile, big, strong, powerful, but it's a little looser, not quite as tight with the tensioning as would be with a G vibe. So sometimes this gets when things we talk about is the voices. And you hear lots of voices when you are Mojo reading. You have to listen to the right ones. And of that, often the right ones, this is a critical point, can be quieter. And so right now, the quality between Nye and Vi, I think you guys can all see what I'm talking about here. It would be easy with her if you took all her makeup off. But with her makeup on, the makeup's grabbing a lot of attention. And you have to kind of shake off the amount of attention the lipstick and the blush on her cheeks is calling towards, and allow the differences, which is more subtle, between Nye and Vi tensioning in the overall facial fascia, the more yang pit with the yin halo versus the yin pit with the yang halo in the case of a G Nye, which she is. Those signals, they're there, but they're quieter than makeup. So makeup can definitely add a challenging level. I find particularly the centralists. I think the centralists tend to do a lot more with makeup, and some particularly females. Female centralists and female romantics can do a lot with makeup. I guess really everyone can, but I guess maybe it's just me. I find difficulty there.
Yeah, females and values-based, I think.
Okay. Nizai Joshua Gomez.
Down's Nijai, same thing. He was the lovable sidekick.
Okay, yeah, has that.
And also kind of got worked,
Sure.
kind of worked up a lot. He'd always get like panicky, and he's very funny being panicky.
Yeah.
And so he used a lot of G when he would be like fluttery, like.
Definitely. Definitely.
My turn?
Yes.
Nizai Scott Krinsky.
This is actually new, although we've covered this kind of thing in the past. But he was down as Nye Z, and it's because he kind of emphasizes he's a bit salty. You see on the left, comes saltier look, and on the right, I'm crazy, man. I'm crazy than everyone here. He plays that a lot in his roles, like I'm so kind of like the guy. What's from the League, Matsukis. Do you know what I mean? I'm the craziest person here. So anyway, he's doing salty and craziest person in the room a lot. So for some, I thought that was directive.
Very cool.
But I can Mitchell take that because I don't think we covered that distinction. Nizai and IZ.
Yeah. All right. You're right. I don't think we have. So. Yeah, like on the picture on the right, he does it this very like sort of salty way that he's using his G or something, but and Zai. But it, I mean, it the mode of expressioning there, like it's going out, like it's projecting outward. It's not like weighing or holding its space. Really, it's not really reacting. Like you can see, it's like leaning forward into it, and his eyes have like that. They're like manic, but not in like a Hunter way. Like Hunter has like crazy like V. It was like really locked in. For Neat Alpha, I guess it's just sort of a more natural state. Just this kind of like delirious look.
You know, that thing is. Thank you. He kind of, I guess, indie ad serps can do it. Some kind of accentuate in this way, combining delirium with brinksmanship, and he does that a lot. Like, you don't want to go crazy with me. I will out crazy you.
Yeah, and then on the left there, I mean, what he is doing just more of is holding his face. It's just Zai with like the G purse now.
Good.
Like aware. That's not slur.
Almost seems like in the picture on the right, he's trying to pretending to be a nice Z who's modulating with his V.
Right? Yeah.
He probably learned it. Maybe some, or not alleged learned it, but that's not a very good way of putting it. But like he probably does that maneuver with some other nice Z. So like,
yeah.
That's interesting.
But he just comes off as a Nizai.
Okay, who's up?
I'm up, I think. Yeah. Ziny John Glazer.
Yeah, I went back and forth on him between another one of these cases we see before between Ziny and Nai Z. I saw Tower, I saw Logic Base, but I just did not consider Ziny enough, and I kept trying the other two options.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see subjective too. It's kind of tricky. I wish there was one of the pictures had him more facing with his eyes looking at the camera. But I guess we got work with what we got to work with. But yeah, I mean, like even with that in mind, I can see he's subjective. Beyond that, the emoting, I mean, I'm not seeing any real evidence of it going into the cheeks. In the picture on the right, you can see he's doing a certain, considerable amount of emoting there, but it doesn't seem to be going up. It definitely looks like there's Zai like really pushing hard down, and in a natural state way, and you said you were considering Nai Z and Ziny, Coach.
Coach
For the
stepped
two
away for a second, but yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So with that, so that sort of rules out Ziny with the emoting, how high it goes up. But and partially, Nai Z as well, but they have emoting that's more that's below the midline as well. I guess beyond that, it does seem more aware to me. It does seem more like upper lip focused, more sort of. She has more of a forward and punchy quality to it and Jai is more inward and reactive. I get more of like the sort of outward punchy quality to his emoting.
And also just adding, we've already kind of covered it, I'll kind of throw in here again because it's a good case of it, is on the right, that's him in one of his roles. And this one things maybe think Ziny or Nai Z, is he looks very put out. And I thought I was seeing that perhaps was the put out of like Jai, disgruntled, or Nai of a Nai Z, dissatisfied. But it's actually neither. It's actually Zai put out. And so Zai also can do that very, very strongly. So it's good to kind of signal in like him. His cheeks here are moving hardly at all. The picture on the right, but he's very put out. So kind of noticing that you can put out a signal of very, very put out, disgruntled with the situation while not actually it being a values-based maneuver.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can definitely see how Zai can do that.
And this is Jivai Chord Overstreet.
I think I was going back and forth with him, I think, between the two Genèse, because I was seeing values-based, and like I thought I was seeing helmet head, and apparently I was, but I also thought I was seeing me and Vi. I also was seeing that, and I just did not consider Jivai enough to kind of zone in. But anyway, if you compare them between the Ziny and the Jinai.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely he's got the pilot face going on. I can definitely see that. But sometimes I think Ziny can sort of also have. Well, I guess it might just be because the unifield face can sometimes be hard to differentiate between unifield.
And some, you're right,
tower long,
fuller, even though it's their towers, it's a little fuller, not so elongated.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes they can have that more fuller look to them, which can make it a little bit harder to distinguish between like a Zhi alpha versus a G alpha. But I can, for me, I feel like I'm able to see the G quite notably. He's got more of that kind of like knee quality though, and that's interesting to note as well. That kind of makes you think, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that because I'm definitely seeing values based, and I'm definitely seeing G or Gs alpha, but the knee and the Vi is also there as well. So that makes you kind of put into question whether or not you might be seeing Xi alpha versus G alpha, or Ziny versus Ginai. But yeah, in this case, he's definitely got the G pilot face, but those eyes look very, like that pitted quality in the center of the eyes and the halo around with the knee. That I can definitely note that, and it looks like he's got the G and then the Vi. So I mean, it's not always common, I think, to come across a G Vi, but I think we're seeing more and more of it now.
There's more to soap operas have helped me kind of see where they're hanging out. They don't tend to hang out, I think, as often maybe some of the shows and music that we listen to as much in our team here. But there's definitely more of the soap opera and some other shows, and I'm eager to get into country music. I think there should also be some good developments there as well.
Right, because I mean, there are G9 that do like, you know, that whole sort of serenading kind of music and like hip hop and stuff like that. So I think there might be a like G-Vi, you know, equivalent in the country. That would be.
And we've already found some. And so it's just that I've not explored country music as much as I have pop and hip hop, or pop and you know, R&B soul. So I think that's an area that bears exploring. And I think we're probably going to see more centralists in both the males and the females.
Also, I think it kind of does riff a little bit of Cyclops, that one guy from X-Men.
That's James Marsden.
Yeah, G9.
G9.
She's a G9, but yeah, it kind of looks a little bit similar to him, but he's obviously, you know, not the exact same mojo.
Yeah, I understand. He does look a little like him, except that he's got a bit more of that Ripley quality we talk about. He's got more of that smooth pallor or chiseled pallor.
Yeah, so again, riffs that are like similar in terms of physical looks, but not necessarily in terms of mojo, like the Kim Kardashian thing you mentioned. But
yeah.
Interesting name too, Cord Overstreet. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool name. Is this me?
Yep, it is.
Nizai Mark Shepard had him down as Nizai. He kind of does like the quippish troublemaker role, and he takes a lot of delight in being a troublemaker, and so I let that delight throw me into seeing values-based. But I believe that is Nizai enjoying himself quite a bit, being naughty. Again, you see that, for example, on the look on the right, he's looking out at the audience and kind of using his tone accordingly, and the one on the left as well. He's more holding his space, he's kind of clamping down a little bit with his eye there, but still he's kind of looking out his knee and giving a emoting tone to whoever he's looking at.
All right. Nizi Rod Hallett.
Naiji. That sounds, it looks so obvious now, but there's something about him on the right. I saw it quickly and I thought I was like, what kind of Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that in the eye area for sure, particularly. But even, yeah, then the size of the mouth, because
The way he does his hair, you know, his facial hair and everything.
hair, yeah, fashioning.
He looks like he's got his eyes set to, you know, upset.
Yeah. You can see Jai here when you look at it, like the emphasis on the lower lip. But yeah, if you're looking, you know, quickly, you can just capture that, like put out G, like belful.
Yeah, that look on the right, it kind of reminds me of Russell Crowe. Yeah, I need to look. I had to go further than that rip. Exactly, it was a strong, like, ooh. Yeah, that's one thing. It's tricky. With fourth gear, it's kind of warp drive. It's awesome in that it travels you across all the options, like say 16 out, you know, 1 out of 16 options. It pulls you to within 8, 4, 2 really fast. But that doesn't mean where it kind of like pulls you to initially that warp is the exact address. It kind of like pulls you through like a lot of, you know, definitely not that one options really fast. It zooms you through. But then you have to kind of like go into like, you know, what's that, warp drive and Berlin.
Teleporting?
Oh,
Impulse?
Warp drive and
Impulse.
impulse. Thank you. You have to take impulse drive and kind of finish it out and make sure, because the warp drive covers a lot of ground quickly and it's awesome, but sometimes it'll take the off center of the actual mark.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's good for getting like big things done, but it's not good for getting the details. Yeah,
Exactly.
like large strokes versus like fine strokes.
Take it. I'm still working this, dude. He vexes me. All right.
Whose turn is it? Mine.
It is, yeah.
Down G9.
Vi G. Brian J. Smith. Vi G in the
Yeah.
spacey sounding thing.
Right.
Versens in this one.
Cool.
Did we go over this?
You know, actually, I'm
I
looking
think
at
we did.
G9. I know it's new.
That's new.
All right. Well, sometimes what happens is like there's a sample that they look sort of like an IG in a way, but they're like a little more yang, and you can go a number of directions with that. You can go like Nai Z, Jinai, Vi G. They're all like a little more yang in some way. So I wonder if that's like has something to do with it, because it's interesting how that, like some of those samples, like they get mixed up or they're kind of far away, but because they're not like one apart, they're like even more than that, and maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, you can see like the bi. Sorry, Ben, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was just validating. Yeah, that kind of agreeing with what you said. That could be one of the routes you can take when if you see like someone that you're like, it looks kind of like a Naiji but with a younger note. You could go with it.
I know I've done that.
And, on top, and also with that, there's also the issue sometimes when pilots have thinner faces and hunters have fuller faces.
Yeah.
He's a pretty powerful looking face, but I mean, I don't know. I can have that too sometimes. Like it just have like a nice tautness to it.
Politics on that, because politics has a lot of big-headed Vi Alpha.
Yeah, very, very true. And, but you can see like his eyes are bifield. They're not Jinai. They're not, and it isn't like super thick. Like his face is reasonably thin, and the mouth and the eyes are like that Vi on point tight quality. It's not like looser Nai that you see.
Ben, you're up.
Oh yeah, Jivi, Brian, Patrick, Wade.
Down as Jinai. Let me cover that. He was absorbing man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ni Zhai, Morgan Sailor.
I'm not sure. I forget what it was. I think I'm a sticker for one of the other gatherers, either a Vija or Nizai.
All right. Well, I mean, in terms of Zai and Z,
I feel like I'm definitely seeing more of like the Zhai and the Z quality as compared to G, because the mouth looks unaware to me, especially on the picture on the right. I feel like that's classic almost in terms of like me drinking in, and then the Zhai unaware. But it's kind of like the emoting is going up a little bit, and it's kind of like has a little bit of a vibratory quality in the cheeks. Ni Zai can, when they're in that kind of mode, it looks a lot more natural for them to be deadpan, or not deadpan, but like steely in the face as they drink in. She's got more of that, the Zhai kind of quality to it. As far as V and Ni go, she does have that very sort of like the way that she's done her makeup and the way that her skin looks. It kind of almost looks as though it's kind of like soft, supple, but it has more of that, what's that word that you used, Coach? That wiggly kind of quality to it. Yeah, like in the cheek area, especially. Ripply, watery kind of quality. I don't know. Like there's something about it that looks a little bit more yin, essentially. And so I feel like I'm able to see that. And the eyes, they definitely look very neat to me. They don't have that laser-like focus with the intensity and the concreteness.
And also, all the E mojos compared to the V mojos seem a little less at ease in the environment. There's a little bit more of a nervous, side conversation energy going on.
Yeah, the Ni interpretives naturally have more of like an anxiousness about them, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the literal's a little bit more of a comfortability, I think, especially the V mojo.
And they have a charger version, which they get pumped, but then that's quite the sort of nervous kind of version of that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jani Tobe Regbo, I think he was another one, same thing from one of those shows where it's a bunch of royal people all stab each other in the back. So I think I had him down as an IG, but here I think it's fairly obvious. More on the left. On the right, you can see him from the roll. A little more feral and kind of, looks like he gets stabbed by the back. Because pretty much every show can, I guess.
It's interesting when we were reading him, because I remember we were reading him one day, and
I do remember that too.
We kept going back and forth between Naiji and Ji-Nai. I remember that.
Bam.
Wait,
Because
bro.
he's like a sub-round, but
Brown.
he is value sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a Jez Alpha, but it does have that sort of longer energy. But he plays, I think,
intense roles.
Intense roles.
He plays very sort of like, yeah.
Also, the Gotham, certain pieces, they actually have a lot of, say, Jai Ni, sometimes Jai B too, but definitely Jai Ni playing sort of like
Leading males kind of characters?
leading and also like looking to strike. Like they're kind of always kind of moving around, looking to strike before they get struck. Kind of quality. And now the tower can't take that posture. But sometimes you see a tower that's like consistently a posture of strike before you get struck first. Kind of might seem a little more directed than it actually is.
Mhm.
Okay, Coach, I think you're.
Zaini, Yusuf, Gatewood. This guy, I don't know. I think it was all over the place. I think I tried Nai Ji, NG Nai, and Izai. I was saying Ji. I was like, this dude has Ji, and he has interpretive looking energy for him. And I just tried that leaves 4 options, but I kept trying the other 3. For some reason, I just did not try Zaini on. I think something about the way he's looking, I don't know, it seems very, I think,
Poised.
Hunter poised on the left and impassioned on the right. So I think those things, those are maneuvers. And so I was seeing G and I was seeing interpretive, but I should have allowed for all the options an equal chance on my sort of lens flexing. Because once I actually put Zaini up, they're like, that's Zaini. I think I actually did it too. I put Zaini up on him, I'm like, that's the answer. But I kept coming back a couple times like, really? Sometimes you're like, that's a Zaini, but that's a great teaching moment. That's a great lesson learned. So that could be a Zaini. A Zaini can look like that. Because I'm like, even right now, all his cues look Zaini. The eyes, the sheer cheeks, the localized G. But something about the look he's giving me on the left and the attitude he's doing on the right, in my Synomnia, I'm not making or have not previously made enough space for a Zaini doing that. That's the only reason to explain it. Because I look at all the other cues, they say Zaini. But it's just something about the riff. I need to expand my understanding more.
That is
So,
cool,
stuff.
yeah. And by the way, this was Jaileen's case, this is a sample.
He's got like a really big head, but then like you look at the mouth and it's like the cheekbones, like the cheekbones are so sheer. Like it's just like.
He's got that really like, I don't know, like that look is very, it looks kind of cool. It looks different, you know, like it's very
dramatic. It's very dramatic.
His face is like a diamond. It's like very
almost like
I like that. Yeah, I was trying to find a word for it, but he does. It really grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like the Dracula kind of look. I don't know what it is.
True.
Yeah, dramatic cheekbones and then that lean, chiseled jawline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the eyes would look intense.
This is when you're like, I didn't know Zaini could do that, you know? Like,
They can. Very much so.
Right,
Mitchell do this
I'll
one?
take this one
Yeah.
since. All right, so Zaini Tron Baza.
He's down shiny, and you covered him. Calvin covered this angle, the comedic thing. I actually mentioned it earlier, but I think I actually had one so far today. The woe begotten Xi Alpha.
Yeah, he does like lots
Oh,
of the misadventures in Lilyhammer. So that could. Yeah, that type of company. Both towers.
He's wobbly.
That's
He gets all
towers.
wobbly during the misadventures.
Yeah.
Like that look on the right. That's from one of his roles. He makes that look a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like oh.
Is he on like a zombie show or something?
Exactly. I didn't account for that.
He looks like he's on a zombie show. Is he on a zombie show?
It's about an ex-mob guy who's hiding from the mob because he sort of like snitched on them, and so he moves to Norway and the witness protection program. And this guy is a Norwegian guy who sort of
His whole crew now is
like
is
part of
Norwegians.
his crew. Yeah.
But they're not like professional criminals. They're like
No.
just like Norwegian losers that have nothing else to do, and he makes them into his gang.
So he's this right-hand guy.
Yeah. It works too, because the main guy's 9Z and he's Zaini, so it's a real good subserve comedy.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Or you-
Shiny Andrew Hawley.
I think another one was I kept trying to figure out if he was one of the Durhams.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, looks like he has sort of like a kind of cocky look from the line. But yeah,
I think we covered that one,
they
right?
covered that. I remember. Yeah, with the 2 times actually.
Zani Navid Negaba?
He's one I actually thought was Nai-Z. I didn't even try Zhiny. I just thought Nai-Z.
Oh, you mean Zine? Oh, yeah.
I thought
Zine.
Nai-Z, that's why, yeah. So that's me. Go take that one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I see on the picture on the right, his face just looks, his whole face, you know, not just his cheeks and under, looks just very cool, you know, just very dispassioned. And it's a very consistent look. I mean, it seems like it's like a film going throughout his entire face. It's not like when you see like the Nazez, for example, like the Nai-Z, you'll see like this a lot of times like coolness, but it'll be like a sheerness that's very pronounced in the cheeks. But here it's like it seems to be going consistently throughout his entire face. And then again, localized G emoting as well, and the eyes too. I mean, they look more bright and dancing. They don't look like their natural state boundaries saying or anything. So
and again, this gets into a separating between the instrument and the maneuvers it's making. Is there's an overall vibe with him. You can really see it on the right, because the left is more him, I think, someplace. On the right, it's him in a role. A cool haughtiness, very cool, haughty, and I was sort of equating that with predatory. And that kind of same thing, where it's actually a tower just sort of being like in control, but he's kind of letting you know he's in control. That's it's the fact that he's not just in that tower like I'm, you know, centered. He's kind of letting you know, like, I'm in control. I'm centered. You are not.
Yeah, and it's like you look at his eyes, and it just looks completely calming. Like it doesn't even look like he's like, you don't even notice the highness until you look at his mouth, basically.
Yeah.
So that's a really I guess important note is like with the Nai Alpha, you'll see like an intensity in the eyes. With him, it's like it looks very calming, and then like you might see highness, but like until you get to the mouth, for most part, it's like it's really just dispassionate and calming.
No, that's a really good point, because the Nai-Z, that same maneuver would be done more with the eyes. The eyes would be conveying more of the I'm in a superior position. But his
and it's like you get that a little bit in the eyes, but it still just looks very like just calming and yeah.
I'm better off than you, or I'm stronger than you. It's more coming from his mouth. His mouth is giving the tone of I'm winning, but his eyes and cheeks are more like just calm.
Yeah, the way his head is positioned too, it sort of looks like he's looking down on people in a way, but it's not.
Imperious.
Yeah, like imperious tilt back.
This is Jai V, Vicky, Judy.
I think it's in their makeup. For some reason, I think I had her down as a G. No, actually, I had her down as a Nai-Z, I think. And I think I was swayed by how many Nai-Z were in that show. So I saw shades of Nai-Z combined with how many Nai-Z are on that cast, and I threw her in. But I believe it's actually a Jai V.
Yeah, I feel like I want to compare her to like Jada Pinkett Smith. And the difference between those two is like, you know, one's directive, one's interpretive and logic based, and she's has Jai as her source, and so she's a values based, you know, literal, adaptive, and so I mean I don't see all the same powers are there, and even in the same compounds and the same ordering, but you know, momentum and modulation are different there, and so yeah, like the eyes don't have that same sort of piercing kind of energy like they would with the Nai Alpha. They look, I mean, she's able to do it, but it looks modulation for her, and she naturally just also gives off this sort of very adaptive yin quality to her as well. The smile also looks like it's going up much higher than just the midline, and even in the picture on the right, the emoting quality, it goes red. It seems like it's ready and easily capable of going all the way up into the eyes as well. And even it is kind of like there's a bit of a tone in the eyes there as well, right?
Yeah.
And all of that there. And V definitely as well. The skin, it looks very soft, supplely kind of quality to it as well. And it's not the same as a Nai-Z would be. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else. But yeah, I feel like those things stand out to me quite a bit.
Good.
Laser eyes too.
Jaivi, Rafael de la Fuente. Pretty straightforward now, but back in the day I had him as Ni Jai because he reminded me a lot of these Jai Mojo music artists. In fact, when I first read him, had not gotten the purification that we've done since then about the AdSense males. But after having done the music, seeing him as Jaivi is pretty straightforward. So elongation, the clear eyes, and that unique signal that the Jaivi have, where they have the warm, gauzy, combined with the laser eyes.
Okay, Zaini Brian Husky.
So one of those "woe is me" Zaini, I thought it was Shiny.
Okay.
That expression on the left, he does. She knows from another period. He does that look quite a bit.
Yeah, he does.
Kind of perplexed there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, such a huge contrast in like the kind of expression he's making in both pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's also helpful to like see the beard and then not see the beard.
Yeah, that adds to a layer. Like the pharaoh can lead you down. past
Like on the picture I'm right, it's like, oh yeah, it's just like this like sharp, pristine Zaini dude. And
Right,
the picture on the left, it's like, whoa, it's like.
So there's this scruffy "woe is me" tower.
Unkempt versus.
Norman White, Zaini.
That same thing down as Johnny. He's his not feral "woe is me." His is "Babe in the Woods." Babe in the Woods, "woe is me." He's like innocent about everything. What's happening? What's going on?
Oh, wow.
He's also got a little bit of a baby fat quality.
He gets therefore abused by pretty much everyone else in the show.
He's
Which
also got
the
that,
two main ladies are Nai Z. That's saying a lot.
Oh, man.
Nai Z ladies that bring the abuse.
also sort of reminds me of Mo Roca in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's soft chin.
And I think the baby fat in the cheeks, it kind of makes you think Jai a little bit more often than I think it makes you think Zai, does it? At least values based. So that might have contributed to the confusion.
Same thing here. Back to the same show. All three of these guys were in the same show. Who's Reezus?
Okay.
Oh yeah. Zaini David Wayne.
So again, Shiny, right?
Shiny was the Mojo coach.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is Nizai Dawes Butler.
Down as Nijai. Back in the day, it's pretty obvious now because of voice acting. There's way more Nizai than Nijai. Back in the day, I didn't know that yet. I saw Nialf, and he's so happy. So.
Yeah, I think we covered that a little bit as well. And yeah, the cheeks, they look very sheer. But I think that's good for tonight.
Okay. So.
What time is it? Is it time? Is that what you're saying, Glenn? 4:20.
Yeah, I think it's 4:30.
Yeah, let's do one more
Yeah.
pass. Let's rock it through. All right. Shiny Ken Hudson Campbell. I really cut him down as Nijai because of the roundness of his face, but there's a lot of tone in that face. It goes all the way up, and the eyes are more held back. But
Jai Robert Costanzo.
I had down as Nai Z.
Okay.
He's the one kind of plays,
Like
chiefs and
the
whatnot.
like the mafia guys.
Mafia
Oh,
guy.
that's
Boss.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's that kind of rough and
Salty.
salty Nijai. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like
Danny
a more
DeVito.
serious Danny DeVito.
Yeah. I was just thinking Danny DeVito too.
Danny DeVito.
But yeah, you can see his cheeks are activated there, and above the midline, which you wouldn't see with Nizi. Also, his eyes, even though they're a little, more narrowed,
Still
than
lifting.
some others, there's still a lot of lift and buoyancy.
Squinty lift.
Yeah, squinty lift.
Nazi Michael Lutz.
Actually, we have another one tonight. This does come up fairly regularly. He's one of those Nizi for me anyway, maybe not for other people. I confused him for Genie at first. Something about him, I don't know what it was. Definitely the fullness of the face, but also his way he seemed more like Naiji are Gmojos, they don't seem as affable. But sometimes Naizi, obviously Ginai, but sometimes also Naizi in a weird way can seem more, I don't know, affable or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway.
Picture on the right, he seems like he has pretty good eyebrow game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, sir, have a good eyebrow game.
Good thing to have.
Congratulations.
This is that we've associated with G. Sometimes, so
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I don't know. It
guess
just,
you gotta have
it
older
just
eyebrows.
looks more like a, I don't know, like he's a very more personable kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Picture on the right, his eyebrow expression.
Yeah,
I got you.
there's a lot of like social engaging with like eyebrows, eyebrow action.
Yeah.
Could, you know, it seems like he would be a guy that would be very like socially engaged, even though he has an aware shy. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is this me?
Yes.
Ziny James Arnold Taylor. I think he was previously read as Ziny, right?
Correct.
So yeah, we covered these quite a bit already. But yeah, he's got a lot of great G.
G and it's overall, like on the left, he's really giving this groovy energy. You know what I mean? He seems real groovy. But Zai can also give groovy. So groovy does not have to be a values-based maneuver.
So Obi-Wan was done by, what do you call it, a Naiji, a Jinai, and voiced by a Ziny. That's interesting.
Gets around. Gets
I
around.
remember requesting him. Yeah, you read of his shiny first.
Diversity.
All right,
All right.
perfect. We'll call that for tonight. And then, unless there's anything else, I will see you guys on Tuesday, and we will continue higher theory. Fun stuff.
All right. Sounds good.
Have one
All right.
weekend, guys.
We're good.
Nice
Have a
push.
good weekend.
Thanks, Ben. Awesome sample surfer.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Oh,
Thank you.
Speaking of which, could we go offline for just a sec?
Yeah.
Oh, sure thing.
Bye, guys.